Pastor Ed here with Daily Devotions for Friday, May the 30th, 2025. This week we've been looking at John 15, verses 9 through 17, in particular verses 12 and 13, kind of taking off on the Memorial holiday weekend and the idea of people who have acted heroically and courageously, and particularly by being willing to sacrifice their own lives for the lives of others. We're reminded here of what Jesus said again in verses 12 and 13. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. Another story that I came across, this one dating back to the Civil War, where, as in any war, there are many acts of violence committed by both armies of either side. One such occasion occurred in October of 1862 in the town of Palmyra, Missouri. According to W.E. Sutterfield, the pastor of the First Baptist Church of Palmyra, the town was under military law at the time, occupied by one of the armies involved in the conflict. The commander of the army ordered 10 men shot in reprisal for the work of an informer in the town who leaked information to the enemy. Several men were being detained in Palmyra jail as prisoners of war at the time, and 10 were selected from among them. One of the number was William T. Humphrey, the father of several children. His wife pleaded for his release because of the children and her poor physical condition. And because of this, the commanding officer struck Humphrey's name from the list and chose the name of Hiram Smith, a young man without a family. Hiram agreed to take the place of Humphrey, stating that perhaps it was better for a single man to die than a man with a family. The 10 men were then shot on October the 17th, 1862, in what has come to be known as the Palmyra Massacre. And at the Mount Pleasant Church Cemetery, there is a stone erected at the grave of Hiram Smith by G.W. Humphrey, the son of the man whose life was spared. It reads this: "This monument is dedicated to the memory of Hiram Smith, the hero who sleeps beneath the sod here, who was shot at Palmyra October the 17th, 1862, as a substitute for William T. Humphrey, my father." My second story this morning is taken from the Second World War, February of 1941 to be exact, Auschwitz, Poland, and the story of Maximilian Kolbe. He was a Franciscan priest who was put in that infamous death camp for helping Jews escape Nazi terrorism. Well, months went by, and in desperation, an escape took place. The camp rule was enforced. 10 people would be rounded up randomly and herded into a cell where they would die of starvation and exposure as a lesson against future escape attempts. Names were called: a Polish Jew by the name of Franciszek Gosowniczek was called. And he cried, "Wait, I have a wife and children." Kolbe stepped forward and said, "I will take his place." Kolbe was then marched into the cell with 9 others, where he managed to live until August the 14th. The story was then chronicled on NBC News several years ago. Gosowniczek, by this time 82 years old, was shown telling the story while tears streamed down his cheeks. A mobile camera followed him around his little white house to a marble monument carefully tended with flowers. The inscription read, in memory of Maximilian Kolbe, he died in my place." Every day the Gosowniczek has lived since 1941. He lived with the knowledge that I live because someone died for me. Every year on August the 14th, he travels to Auschwitz in memory of Kolbe. Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for one's friends. Once again, 2 more reminders of people who demonstrated with the supreme sacrifice their love for others, their love for friends. And we find our inspiration, though, for all of that, as we heard once again today, in Jesus our Lord. Well, hope you have a great day to finish off the work week, the school week, and I'll be back with you tomorrow one more time. Until then, take care. Bye.